What's up, peeps? It's your boy K-Seal coming to you live from Charleston, Alabama. Now that we're done with the 10-part documentary that ESPN had, The Last Dance, I want to share with you guys seemed like a pretty unpopular opinion. But hey, we all have our opinion. I'm just sharing mine. I called the Jordan wave quick. As soon as he came into the league, he was one of the most popular guys in the league. With the way he scored, how graceful he was, how tenacious he was on offense and defense. So like I said, I caught that wave quick. I got the shoes. The first pair of Jordans that came out, I had them. And for that, I believe MJ is the greatest player of all time. I'm telling you guys this to let you know that I'm not one that suffers from recency bias. I'm not one of those guys that believe the latest is the greatest. In most cases. However, even after watching this documentary, even after having those great feels come back that I had back in the day, even after reminiscing and all of the behind the scenes things and all the things I thought it was great, for my money, I still think the greatest team I have ever seen in my 43 years is the 2016-2017 Golden State Warriors. If the Bulls were to play the Golden State Warriors and I had $5,000 that I had to bet on who would win and the amount of games, I know I'm going to piss a lot of people off, but I got the Warriors in 5. I don't think the Bulls could keep up with them. The Golden State Warriors is the most talented team I have ever seen. They are, and I don't even think this part is debatable, they are the greatest shooting team I have ever seen. As a team, those dudes shot 55% from the field and almost 40% from three. As a team. And I'm not talking about back in the day when guys shot high percentages because they didn't shoot that many. The Warriors launched them things. 31 threes a game and still almost 40%. And those guys never protected their three-point percentage. Clay, KD, Steph, whoever had the ball at the end of the half launched that thing. It didn't matter if they was from 25 feet or 50 feet. They threw that thing in trying to make it. And that plays a big deal in their numbers. And it brought their percentage down, but whatever. Those guys were trying to win. But I would take the Golden State Warriors in 5. And people would say, hey, Kelvin, the Bulls were an amazing defensive team. And I'm not debating that at all. They were a great defensive team. But the Bulls were playing in an era where big men dominated. They dominated. So the fact that Michael and Scottie were so tenacious on defense, it made it, in my opinion, it made it look better than what they actually were. Name the elite perimeter players that those guys played against. And there were elite perimeter players, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong at all. But in the finals, those guys weren't shutting down anybody. Those guys that they played against in the finals, let's just say Magic Johnson, let's go down the list. Magic Johnson, the first finals, averaged 18, 12, and 8. In the finals, he averaged 19, 12, and 7. Is that shutting him down? I don't think so. Clyde Drexler averaged 25, 6 assists, 7 rebounds in the regular season. He played against the Bulls, 25, 6, and 6. Is that shutting him down? KJ from the Phoenix Suns. Look at his numbers. Charles Barkley. Check these out. Are they being shut down? Let's keep going down the list. Gary Payton. Shawn Kemp. And now let's look at Malone and Stockton. Now there was a drop-off from Stockton and Malone. But those guys were still getting their numbers. The Bulls were an elite defensive team. I get that. But they never faced anything like what the Warriors would bring. The ball movement. All three of those guys coming off screens and ball movement. The only person that plays into their hands on the offensive side was KD, who's arguably a top 3 offensive player of all times. So yeah, let everybody else get their scoring off ball movement. But ISO KD and Scottie Pippen and see what happens. KD is going for 40 if you don't double. That's just a fact. And the Bulls, like I said, they were great defensively, but they only had one elite scorer, and that was Jordan. On a great day, Scottie will give you 30. And I'm talking about a great day. And you talking about the stars and the moon having to align for Kukoc to give you 30. He averaged about 16. Scottie was 20. Scottie averaged most of his points in the paint, slashing, fast breaks. Scottie wasn't an elite shooter. Put him in the paint, elbow, off the glass. That was his game. MJ was the only one that was a guaranteed bucket on that squad. Everybody else, Ron Harper was washed with bad knees. You know, Kerr, Bushler, all those guys. Come on, man. The Warriors were deep. They had 3 guys that can give you 50, and you wouldn't even blink an eye. KD, Steph, and Klay could give you 50, and nobody's locking down the elite offensive players. So I'm sorry, Jordan fans, Pippen fans. They weren't locking down KD and Klay. I'm sorry, that just wasn't the case. There's no evidence to support that. I just showed you the numbers of the elite offensive players that they played against. Those guys still got their numbers. And none of those guys got their numbers off of ball movement and movement like Klay, Steph, and KD would. And like I said, they were deep. They had Iguodala. They had David West. They had Matt Barnes coming off the bench. They had Sean Livingston. Who did the Bulls have coming off the bench? I'm sorry. For my money, the Golden State Warriors is the greatest team I have ever seen. The most talented team I've ever seen. And I believe they wiped that Bulls squad out. Call me crazy, call me stupid. I can handle it. I'm a grown man. But this is my honest opinion. Tell me what you think. I'll listen. But you ain't changing my mind.